Afternoon on another Scorchio day in early August. After the reasonably successful visit down to the Rolling Road on Wednesday, the guy recommended that I needed to change the air sock design that I had on the throttle bodies. So he said about maybe come up with a proper air box rather than just the socks I had on there. So I've been thinking about what to do over the last few days, and obviously I like to do DIY stuff, so rather than go out and buy something. Plus I don't know if these will ever be changed. I don't really like cutting additional holes in bodywork, so I was trying to accommodate stuff within the aperture that I've got on the body already. So my first idea was to try and make up my own little air box, as if trying to, well, literally, or mesh system initially, and then clad it in filter material to the air. Obviously, anything that comes up from the back, front, sides would obviously be filtered. So the initial idea I come up with, as far as fixings, was to try and create a little box area just out of some 16 gauge gas welding wire. They're obviously easy to bend and manipulate, just to try some stuff out for size. And I've hung it on the fixing screws for the injector clamp. Obviously one on the back here, one around the front. I've just pulled the fuel pipe, which would normally come around this way. I've sort of pulled it to the back a little bit temporarily on the alternator with a cable tie, and that was the general idea, was to try and sort of come off of here and come around there. But I went inside for a bit of a rest earlier on. I had been toying with the idea of how to use maybe the filter design off the bike carbs, and that's what I'm sort of pursuing at the moment. So I've got a back plate. Now this is where keeping all your crap, or people, I've got basically got a back plate that I think someone cleared out their garage into mine. I'm not quite sure where it came with, but I'm sure it's part of the change over to the ST. One of the guys I bought bits off of supplied me with a spare back plate. So at the moment I've had a bit of a mark out just to work out whereabouts the hole is in the bonnet, and sort of just to see if I can put something through here together. So at the moment the idea is to try and fix this back plate literally onto the front of the carburetors. And just so happens they line up perfectly, so I'm not sure if this back plate was originally used with these carbs somehow. Maybe with clamps that I haven't got. I've drilled some additional holes. There was originally only 2 holes, I've drilled 4. I'm going to try and put a cable tie literally around each of these, going that way, around each of them, and put a cable tie through one of these holes, through the cable tie around and back through the other hole. That hopefully, I'm hoping that's going to hold the back plate onto the front of the trumpets on the throttle bodies sturdy enough at least to try out. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just to try and cable tie this on, and let's see how it goes on, and whether or not the filter, this one here, pipe across one, still goes through the bonnet hole. So that's the idea at the moment anyway. Well, apart from that, using up quite a few cable ties, it looks like there's been a bit of a fight in a cable tie factory. It wasn't too bad. So one cable tie around the red tube, top cable tie goes through top edge, same with the bottom. They'll give them a trim up after a bit of a pinch up as well. This will also provide this back plate the ideal opportunity to fit the temperature gauge, obviously air temperature gauge here, or sensor should I say. I've drilled out the back plate. There was already a hole in there. It was about a 14mm. I've had to drill it out to about an 18mm. So once I sort out a little lock nut on there, I can shove it through from the back into here, so it obviously reads the incoming air temperature as well. So the ECU should be nice and happy. Well, it fits. I had to squish down the inner mesh a little bit on the inside the pipe across the filter, because it was obviously fading on the original stripping. Let's take this off. Take this blue strip. I was using this off, this tape, to match, to work out. Basically, I put a line from here all the way along here to line up on this lower edge. Cut it, took it off, and put it back on there again, so I can, in theory, I could see the hole, even though the bonnet was on there. Yes, I just have to squish this down a little bit, the mesh inside, so that the bonnet will go on. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's going to save me quite a bit of fabrication, having to make a box up. The front of the back of the trumpets is fully sealed in, whereas it would have been with the initial idea I had of creating a box. I'd have issues with the air getting in from the inlet manifold side of the trumpets. So yeah, it's going to be quite a good result. I can then move on to the other issue he mentioned to me about the TPS being a little bit jerky, which I think I probably know the reason why that may be. But yeah, that's quite happy with that. It's a quick fix to what could have been a complicated job. But yeah, I'll take the pieces of wire off that I was using for the fabrication of my airbox I was going to make up, and also I can now cut the cable tie head and the fuel line, get that back in normal position. Yeah, that's moving on quite nicely now. Nearly there.